way. Hey guys, I'm Craig from Melbourne Comp Crawlers. We're a RC crawling club in Victoria, and with me I have Steve from Southeast Queensland RC Crawlers Club. G'day, Steve. How you going?
Yeah, g'day, mate. How's it going? All right. We just had our East Coast Crawl Fest up here in Queensland, and
That's right.
I think it's our third year with that. Which we had one down Newcastle, which was pretty awesome, and this is the second one up here.
Oh, for anyone who hasn't seen what East Coast Crawl Fest is all about, it's an event that's got a headline sponsor RC Four Wheel Drive running the thing with a bunch of other fantastic sponsors behind it. And the whole thing, Steve, is intended it covers its own costs, and then it raises money for charity. And the costs are kept minimal, isn't it? Because we've got a lot of volunteers throughout the whole organisation.
Yeah,
so it's all about raising money for a charity. A bunch of guys descend on the place from all around, mostly the eastern seaboard. Like Steve said, we've had it up at Murphy's Creek Escape this year, 2024, and last year was Boat Harbour. They were fantastic. So yeah, we thought for a change we'd give the Victorians a bite at it. This is the place I was telling you about. It's got the dam here behind us. So it's a 5-minute walk that way to where the cars are parked, and it's a 2-minute drive, or 6 or 8 minute walk to the caravan park. And they've got camping and van space, powered and watered sites with toilets. And this place, the locals here tell me, because I'm hanging out with locals today, they tell me that the water level here is always this low. It's public access coming from the bottom, you just can't come in from the top. And it's an easy walk. You can bring your cart with its wheels along the top, and there's also a beautiful trail that follows the river for like the night drive as well. We're in winter now, and the rocks have less traction, but there's still some traction. And these locals tell me, who've been coming here for years, that they come here and they fish, and they can come across up here and go all the way up, and the dam operators are fine. And yeah, the water level's always the same, except when there's been flooding upstream. So the end of March, these rocks will be all dry, and there's heaps and heaps of good, clean rock. No preparation needed. We just turn up and lay gates. The rocks are all in one fantastic area. It's all fresh water. And the upper section, the locals tell me, the water is always like this, again, except when they're dealing with a flood. And look how far up the guys are. This is very long. We come up through there, and it's safe, easy enough to access. And this place is huge. These rocks are just so impressive. It's still only 2 hours from Melbourne. It's actually a little closer to Melbourne than Merville Caves.
Yeah, the rock looks awesome. I've looked at it on the footage, on different videos and stuff, man. It looks a really nice spot. It's a low-cost thing. All we do is cover our costs, and all the rest of the money is raised goes to charities. The East Coast this year, we raised $1,100 for Kids with Cancer, which is pretty awesome. So we have all the prizes. All the sponsors give in prizes, and the prizes go into a raffle. Drivers pay a small fee to compete, just as per normal when they compete for each class, and then as well as they can buy tickets, which all money goes to the charity. You don't have to come first to win something. Essentially, you
just got to be there.
Make the prize to be there.
Yes,
I mean, like the place get us a trophy. Like I think that's most guys. You're happy. It's bragging rights to come out and win and get a trophy is pretty awesome. The prizes I like to see. It's good to see a young kid or something get a really good prize. It's good to see. And the best thing is money goes towards charity, which I think it's giving back to the community, So definitely a little bit different. Yeah, and then my aim is, and we've started it already, and this is the third one being in Melbourne, is to keep changing the locations all up and down the east coast. So, no, should be pretty good.
I think we said the last weekend of March, didn't we? And this
Yeah,
year,
yeah.
also as a first, I think we said, Steve, didn't we? We're going to run 4 days: Thursday, Friday,
Yes,
Saturday, Sunday.
yeah. I always wanted to do it, and I've gotten bigger and bigger with it, but it's gotten so big that I can't run it over 3 days. So we have one day is a scale day. So this one, I'm pretty sure we'll have just your scale one as a comp, and then on that same day is the rest of the day will be all scale one social driving. So yeah, yeah, it's harder and harder to run that. So on a 3 day
Mm,
event. So that's what we're
mm,
finding. So
mm.
yeah, we're going to up it to 4 days, and hopefully everyone can make it for the 4 days. But
There should be a winner.
yeah, just being able to run all the classes plus some social driving, which appeals to a lot of people. It's the masses,
Oh,
I
look,
think. It's definitely,
you know, the social part of this thing is honestly, it's just a highlight. Getting to hang out with the
Yeah,
guys on the day, the evenings
yep,
just hanging around the fire. Although there won't be
jump in.
fires this year with our fire ban. Unfortunately, that's a bummer. But look, the hanging out with each other is just it's a great time. It really is a
Yeah,
great time. So
that's the idea. That will work really
yeah,
well. Having as a camp
mm,
spot brings everyone together. And at the end of
yeah,
the day, that's one of the main things everybody remembers in the end is the good
yes,
time that you had. You know what I mean? Comping
absolutely,
is great, but it's always the event. It's always the event.
yes.
It's always how
Oh,
you
look, it's a
enjoyed it.
hobby. It's a hobby,
Yeah,
and the fact that even we just get to talk, Steve. Like we're in it because we love it. So it'll be good.
100%. Yep,
So what we might do, Steve, is we'll have some links down below where you can see more
yep,
about the club. And because this is two clubs, this is Queensland and Victoria here talking with Steve and me. We'll have both
yep.
our links to our clubs, but we will both have the same stuff posted ahead of time. So you'll have a place to book and pay and buy more tickets if you want, and shirts if they're available this year. I think they will be. We'll see.
Yeah, that'll be available. Yeah.
And that'll be a place to ask you questions as well. We'll have a welcome pack for you this year that tells you what to expect, what to bring, how to prepare. And so if you've got questions about charging batteries or water or anything else like that, we've got a committee together, and we're going to have everything ready for you so that you won't have any questions outstanding by the time the event rolls around. Now, the other thing, Steve, I wanted to discuss with you was
Yep.
for anyone who hasn't been to one of these things before. See, I get comments on my channel actually quite a lot saying, "It's great that you come, Craig, but I wouldn't know where to start. I'd never been to one. I'd be nervous." And it also makes me think about some of those guys that turn up to our little local comps because we
Mm,
both comp all through the year, and
yep.
they've charged the battery and turned up with the car, but they're not really sure if they want to drive or just I'll just watch today. I want to encourage anyone who's watching this and thinking about it. Let me just tell you, if you've got a crawler, this is the place to be. If you're at all into
Yep.
crawling, it's the best time on rocks. Especially the secret ingredient that you may not have realized is adding people. It's just so fun. You want to talk
Mm.
about any favorite drives you had, Steve, from this year's ECCF? Now it's just in the rearview
Ah,
mirror.
favorite
I got a
drives.
couple.
Yeah. We were just talking about there was two courses, course 4 and course 5 or pro was
Oh
really
yeah.
really good. There was some really if you remember course 5 when we went through this, I went through the Stargate and there was a couple of rocks you had to get over, and I balanced on two wheels to do a full right end lock. That was pretty sweet. And then the big gap on that bonus was pretty sweet. Yeah, like pro, I was really happy with. Like,
Mm.
like I had a couple of breakages on Sporty, a couple of electrical gremlins that my fault, should have sorted out before the event, but it's sorted
I
now.
remember that.
But
Mm.
yeah, scale one, I had a couple of little things going on there as well, but it's a work in progress. Yeah, it's just a full standard rig from RC4 Drive, and yeah, just tweaking it the way I want to run it. I'm a quite harsh on some of my rigs, so I just need to
Mm.
bomb proof it a little bit. And
Mm.
everyone enjoyed it. Everyone enjoyed it. Hey,
Oh yeah,
I'll tell you what. The
it was
best thing
great.
now, I've just thought of it. That
Mm.
young fellow who won Tough Truck, I've got to get hold of him. He had just a stock standard type rig. What was the rigs they always use? The standard one for the Tough
The
Truck.
Capra.
Yeah, and
Mm.
just drove. Yeah, he was like the quiet achiever, and he just took it out, which was awesome. It was a shame
Perfect.
that he wasn't there for the trophies, but
Yeah.
I'm sending that trophy out and his prize and everything. So that was
Yeah. Good.
pretty good highlight. I thought it was really good. A young fella, and
Mm,
he's
mm,
got some skills and he's a good driver. So quite
absolutely.
achiever.
Yeah.
It's just So what about you, Craig?
Yeah. That's cool.
What was the highlights for you?
Look, I always come away from these things with having learnt a bunch more, and I remember talking to you, Steve, during I think the pro run, just being impressed by just how durable those axles are that you're running.
Mm,
Because I was watching you trying to fold that thing in half in between two
yeah.
boulders there, and just you weren't shy on the throttle, and it just took it.
Yeah, those deluxe axles are they're they're bulletproof.
Tom Kilbert had a bit of a Barry during the end of one of his courses, and he had less than a minute left, and he still had a bonus and the end gate, so he wasn't in a terrible position. But as he was coming down, his scale one rig rolled, and he lost all his stuff everywhere. And it was in a bad position, so he's trying to pack all the stuff in, and then the radio's trying to slide. I was filming this, so I reached out and grabbed the radio, and he's just jamming it all in, and then he goes time, and Tom Norton gives him the time, and he goes, all right, it's this many points. What are we going to do? And I thought he was just going to go straight to the total, but no, he went straight back
Oh,
out and came back in, did the bonus, and walked there, and just it's such a good ending. Oh yeah, that's a good watch.
yeah. I'll have to have a look at that one. I don't think I've seen that
Yeah.
one.
Oh, Tom, you're my new hero.
20 seconds.
Our club's
Yeah.
got some, Jakey's got some, and Steve's going to have some as well. Between us,
Yeah.
we'll have a lot of the footage from the event up. I think Zach and a
Mm.
few of the other guys do. I'll post whatever I can for you.
One thing I want to get across as well, like you said, is some
Hmm.
new guys that want to come along. Like the scale thing, especially the scale side of it. Wouldn't even have to compete. You could turn up for the day and that whole day do the
Yes,
scale,
yes,
and you'll love it. Yeah, it'll be good, and it's getting bigger and bigger, better and better each
it
year.
is.
We're learning and
Hmm.
learning more things. So
It's a
um,
good time.
before we know it, it'll have to be a week. a few years down the track, we'll be doing it for a week.
One day,
Oh
one
God!
day. I can't wait. We're going to camp
All right.
there in November this year. Our club will when we test
Oh
run the
yeah,
place.
yeah,
We're gonna keep putting the thing together. Our little committee here, getting everything sorted so
yeah.
it's ready for all of you.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't know
It's
when we're going to have the booking form up, but it's in progress. So when it's ready to go, we'll announce it on the Facebook pages and also on melbournecompcrawlers.com.au.
Yeah.
And so all the usual places. And then we'll look forward to seeing you guys at 2025 East Coast Crawl Fest in Victoria.
Hell
Thanks,
yeah.
Steve. Good
Can't
talking
wait.
to you.
Yeah, no
I'll catch
worries.
you there.
All right, no worries, mate.